Welcome to the Deep Dive, your express lane to informed thought. Today, we are taking on a truly astonishing claim we found in the source material you sent over. It says that 86% of the world's most livable cities are located in Europe.
86%. That number isn't just high, it's kind of staggering.
It is. It suggests that Europe has somehow figured out this sustainable baseline for urban life that few other continents can really match.
Well, it speaks volumes about the infrastructure, doesn't it? The accessible healthcare and just the sheer density of culture and history pretty much everywhere.
Absolutely. But that creates a problem.
Which is?
If every city is supposedly great, how do you decide where you fit in? That's the real challenge.
That is the challenge.
Exactly. So our mission today is to be a kind of curated shortcut. We've got this complete countdown of the 25 best places to live in Europe, and we're going way beyond just, reading out a list.
Right. We're slicing the data.
We're slicing it by the three core pillars the source used: affordability, quality of life, and culture, to really pull out the surprising bits of knowledge that help you navigate the huge trade-offs in this list.
And that navigation process, it's entirely personal, isn't it? I mean, do you value quiet efficiency over, say, affordability?
Or do you chase sunshine and food knowing you might have to deal with intense summer heat and crowds?
Exactly. So we're going to start at the bottom of the list, not because they're less desirable, but because they offer the most pronounced trade-offs.
The highest value at the lowest price point.
Right. It makes the comparison points really immediate and visible.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're starting in what we're calling the value vaults.
I like that.
These are cities where a comfortable life, we're talking rent, food, basic fun, can genuinely be achieved for €1,200 a month, or even less.
These are the places where character, history, and affordability collide in some pretty unexpected ways.
Okay, so we're focusing right in on the €900 to €1,000 sweet spot first.
And these numbers are just staggering when you compare them to rental prices alone in Western Europe.
Oh, completely. It fundamentally changes your whole financial perspective.
So our first city is number 25, Sofia, in Bulgaria. It anchors the list at approximately €900 a month.
900, wow. The source describes Sofia as having this incredible, unique mix.
It's geographically stunning, for one, nestled right below Vitosha Mountain.
Which means you have this massive natural escape literally right outside the city limits.
But the city itself is like an architectural layer cake.
A layer cake, that's a perfect description. You walk past ancient Roman ruins, then an Ottoman mosque, and then, these big remnants of Soviet-era buildings.
All side by side.
It's amazing.
And that historical density, that's a massive cultural draw. But the daily affordability is what really hooks people.
I can imagine.
The lifestyle perks for someone on a budget are just relentless. The source notes you can get a strong, good coffee for under €1.
Under €1. That's incredible.
And for remote workers, areas like Studentsky Grad have this really robust, lively nightlife. So it feels dynamic, even with the low cost.
And it's a good base for exploring.
An excellent base. You can do cheap weekend trips to the Black Sea beaches or Bulgaria's rugged mountains.
Okay, but the price of admission here has to be non-monetary. What are the friction points? What stops Sofia from ranking higher?
The trade-offs are significant, and they relate directly to quality of life for an average resident.
Okay.
So if you're not earning a foreign salary, local wages are just dramatically lower than in Western Europe.
Right.
The language barrier is also a serious thing to consider. Bulgarian uses Cyrillic, and mastering it for daily tasks is a steep learning curve.
But what's the biggest one?
The biggest one, and this is a major environmental factor for this whole region, is the severe winter air quality problems.
From coal heating.
Exactly, from the persistent use of coal heating. That is a massive health and lifestyle hurdle you have to factor into that cheap price.
That's a huge trade-off.
Yeah.
Okay, moving slightly north, but still in that affordable bracket, we hit number 24, Riga, Latvia.
Yep, listed at around €1,000 a month.
And Riga immediately gives you that storybook charm. It's a UNESCO-listed old town, Gothic spires, medieval churches like the famous House of the Blackheads.
But its true architectural wonder, I think, is its density of Art Nouveau buildings.
Right.
The source notes over 800 of these incredibly detailed, elegant structures. It's the world's finest collection, all in one place.
So you're surrounded by all this beauty for 1,000 euros a month.
And technologically, Riga punches way, way above its weight.
How so?
It's a huge draw for digital workers. It boasts some of the fastest internet speeds in Europe and really excellent public healthcare access.
And there's that fascinating historical nugget in daily life with the market.
Oh, the central market. It's amazing. It's housed in 5 huge old Zeppelin airship hangars.
That is so cool.
It's this fantastic blend of industrial history and modern commerce.
Okay, but the major challenge here is atmospheric, right? It's the location.
Yes. The northern latitude is just unforgiving. You're dealing with freezing temperatures and seriously limited daylight in the winter.
How limited are we talking?
Only about 6 hours of light in December. You have to be prepared for some real seasonal affective challenges.
That's tough.
And outside of IT and tourism, local job opportunities are pretty limited.
Got it. Okay, maintaining that 1,000 price point, we have number 23, Krakow in Poland.
And Krakow delivers spectacular medieval grandeur. It's centered around Ranek-Goni, which is famously Europe's biggest medieval square.
Plus, you have Wawel Castle towering over the river, and the really vibrant historic Kazimierz, the old Jewish quarter.
Which is now just filled with trendy bars, cool cafes, art galleries.
And Krakow seems to differentiate itself from Riga by offering real job opportunities alongside all that history.
It does. It has a really robust, growing job market, especially in finance and big tech outsourcing centers.
And the food.
The food scene is ridiculously affordable. You can get traditional Polish pierogi or the street food favorite, zapiekanka, for just a few euros.
So that combination of economic opportunity and deep culture at a low cost is pretty rare.
Yeah, it really is.
So what's the non-monetary price here? What's the catch in Krakow?
Well, we run into a familiar drawback from these value vaults.
Let me guess. Air quality.
Poor winter air quality, mainly due to that dependence on coal heating in the region. It's a seasonal health issue that just keeps popping up in these budget-friendly Central and Eastern European spots.
Okay, let's move to the rebuilt capital cities where their modern energy is really defined by their resilience.
Right, and we have number 19, Warsaw, Poland, also at €1,000 a month, but it offers a drastically different historical view than Krakow.
How so?
Warsaw's story is one of just total, almost miraculous resilience. It was largely flattened during World War II.
And the old town was meticulously reconstructed, brick by brick.
Exactly, using old historical paintings as their guides. So you have this modern, bustling capital surrounding a perfectly reconstructed, almost fairy tale-like historic core.
The contrast must be palpable.
It really is. It drives the whole city's identity.
And one point the source really hammered home was how unexpectedly green Warsaw is.
It's a major quality of life marker. Warsaw has more green space than any other major European city. Places like Osienki Park, which combines history, nature, and these huge palaces.
And that access to nature probably helps offset the grayness of a northern winter.
It does. And the economy and infrastructure here are very strong. You have a thriving business, district finance, tech, all supported by excellent public transport.
And when those cold, gray winters do hit, that affordability kicks back in.
It does. Warsaw still has its historic milk bars. These are subsidized cafeterias serving cheap, hearty Polish meals. So it ties right back to that core value.
Okay, let's jump down the list a bit to another capital defined by monumental architecture and rapid change. Number 13, Bucharest, Romania.
Slightly higher price, but still excellent value at €1,200 a month.
And this is the city that continually surprises people, right? With its architectural blend.
Indeed. They call it the Parisian blend. You see these grand 19th century Parisian-style buildings mixed with stark, imposing communist structures, and then boom, a hyper-modern glass tower.
And of course, the anchor is the immense Palace of Parliament.
Which is not only one of the largest buildings in the world, the source calls it the world's heaviest.
The heaviest.
A physical testament to the megalomania of its history.
And for the working population, especially in the digital space, Bucharest has a major strategic appeal.
It does, and this is where the balance comes in. Bucharest has this burgeoning, skilled IT sector, and this growth is heavily incentivized by the government.
With a low tax rate, right?
A very low 10% tax rate for tech workers. So it's strategically very appealing for highly skilled digital nomads or employees.
But where does the convenience break down in Bucharest? Where's the friction?
The traffic. It's a serious daily problem. The city's infrastructure just hasn't kept pace with its economic growth, so congestion is a constant struggle. You also have to deal with some general urban grit stray dogs, things like that. And of course, very cold winters with a lot of snow.
So great for business, but the daily commute could eat up your quality of life.
Precisely.
Okay, before we move on, we have to touch on the ancient icon, number 18, Athens, Greece.
Holding its own at 1,100 chillers a month.
And the sheer weight of history here is just, it's incomparable.
I mean, waking up to views of the Acropolis and the Parthenon is something you can't put a price on, but Athens somehow manages to make it affordable.
It's this fascinating, sometimes chaotic mix of ancient ruins and vibrant modern street art.
That collision of ancient and modern is the heart of its culture and its energy.
And life in Athens is lived almost entirely outdoors, which has to be a massive quality of life booster.
Absolutely. The source mentions constant rooftop dinners, sunset hikes on Lake Abetis Hill, and incredibly cheap food. You can grab a classic Greek souvlaki for just €3.
And it's a launch pad to the islands.
A quick, cheap ferry trip gets you to the Greek islands for a weekend break. It's amazing.
So what's the non-monetary price of admission for this ancient life?
You have to tolerate visible economic strain. The source notes signs of, economic troubles, heavy graffiti, inconsistent public services.
And the climate?
And the climate. The summers are intensely hot, regularly hitting 40 degrees Celsius, and the city suffers from chaotic traffic and congestion.
So if you prioritize history, sunshine, and cheap living, you have to accept heat and urban friction.
That's the trade-off. It's very clear in these value vaults. You get history and affordability, but you pay for it with air quality, language barriers, or major infrastructure problems. A very clear starting point.
A very clear starting point indeed.
So now we shift our focus a bit, geographically and in terms of cost. This next section is all about cities that offer unique strategic advantages.
Or they manage to perfectly blend tradition with this hyper-modernity.
Exactly. And they often command a slightly higher price point or have their own local administrative quirks. What's fascinating here is how geography and efficiency really start to dictate the quality of life.
We're starting with a city defined by its proximity to a global powerhouse. Number 22, Bratislava, Slovakia.
Right. At $1,100 a month, it's the ultimate central connector.
So Bratislava offers this capital city culture, but still has a small-town, relaxed, walkable vibe.
But the strategic advantage here is everything. The source highlights that Vienna, a major economic and cultural hub, is just 1 hour away by train.
Wow. So you can basically live this affordable, low-key life in Bratislava while easily accessing the high-wage economy and culture of Vienna.
That's the play. And visually, it's a stunning blend of eras.
You have the charming Old Town with its colorful Baroque buildings,
contrasted sharply by the ultra-modern UFO bridge that's suspended right over the Danube.
And the convenience is really localized. Everything's within walking distance. And the expat community is noted as being pretty friendly.
It is.
But where does that convenience start to break down for a newcomer?
The difficulty lies in your career. It's hard to find high-paying jobs outside of the major international companies that have offices there.
I see.
The Slovak language is notoriously difficult to learn. And unlike Vienna, Bratislava's public transport isn't as extensive as in, a truly massive city. It's a great bridge, but internal growth needs external resources.
Okay, next up. A bit more expensive, but elegantly historic. Number 17, Budapest, Hungary.
Now we're at 1,200 reals a month. And this city delivers affordable elegance and real visual grandeur.
It's an architectural masterpiece. The Danube River dramatically splits the city in two.
Into hilly Buda with the castle district and the thermal baths, and flat Pest where you find the parliament and the famous ruin bars.
And it has that unique year-round cultural ritual related to water.
The thermal spring advantage is completely unparalleled. Budapest sits on 1,300 thermal springs.
And they feed these magnificent historic spas where locals famously play chess in the steaming outdoor pools.
Even when it's snowing. That is a truly distinctive ritual and a massive quality of life booster.
And economically, like Bucharest, Hungary has some tax incentives.
Yes, a low 15% income tax rate for skilled IT workers, which has really propelled a booming tech scene there.
Sounds like a winner. But what about the Hungarian bureaucratic hassle? Is that a thing?
Oh, it's a thing. Bureaucracy is universally noted as frustrating and slow, and the language barrier is formidable.
Hungarian is famously difficult.
It's unrelated to most other European languages, and a local challenge is the thick winter fog that can blanket the city. Sounds romantic, but it can really affect your mood.
Okay, now let's jump north to number 12, Tallinn, Estonia, at 1,300 euros a month. This is what the source calls the ultimate tech fairy tale.
And it really is this fusion of deep history and digitalization. Talon performs this amazing balancing act.
You have a genuine fairy tale. Old town cobblestones, ancient walls.
While at the same time being one of the world's most digitally advanced, tech-savvy cities.
It pioneered the famous e-residency program,
Which allows anyone in the world to apply for a digital ID to run an EU-based business completely online.
and the perks for actual residents are amazing.
Yeah.
Free public transport and, famously, fast internet.
That combination of convenience and efficiency is priceless. However, the reality check, much like Riga, is severe.
The darkness.
You're dealing with only 6 daylight hours in the dead of winter. The local coping mechanism is key, though.
Right.
Locals actively combat the darkness by retreating to these incredibly cozy, candlelit cafes and embracing a sense of internal warmth. It demands a specific seasonal adaptation.
Okay, now let's talk about a significant cost jump. We go from Bratislava and Budapest around €1,200 to number 15, Prague, Czech Republic, which demands a substantial €2,000 a month.
This is a huge jump.
This is the romantic classic, and that global recognition has clearly inflated the price.
€2,000 is a high barrier compared to its neighbors, for sure.
Yeah.
Prague is aesthetically just superb. The Vltava River, Gothic bridges, Baroque palaces, the astronomical clock. It's hard to beat for sheer beauty.
And the beer culture there is world-class, right?
Absolutely Europe's best. You can still find world-class Pilsner for less than €2 in a traditional tavern, and the public transport is stellar.
But I have to challenge this ranking a bit, based on that cost difference. If Bratislava offers proximity to a major capital and similar historic charm for nearly half the price, how does Prague justify that $900 premium? What makes it worth the extra cash?
That's a great question. And the justification lies almost entirely in global demand and its architectural uniqueness.
So tourism.
Basically, Prague has reached this critical mass as a tourist destination, and that pressure, plus the difficulty of building new housing because of UNESCO constraints, has tightened the housing market dramatically. Rents are now approaching Western European levels.
And what's the specific hassle?
Despite the high level of English spoken by young people, the local bureaucracy, government offices, getting vital documents operates solely in Czech.
So you're paying a premium for romance, dealing with high competition for housing, and you're still facing a massive language hurdle for all the boring admin stuff.
Exactly. It's a city where high culture meets high market competition.
We are shifting gears completely now. We're moving south to the Atlantic and Mediterranean coast.
And here's where the data requires the most personal introspection, I think. Because we are trading winter fog and air quality issues for heat, hills, and constant outdoor living.
The lifestyle is now defined by sunshine and gastronomy.
We're entering the southern European rhythm. The day starts later, social life happens outside well into the evening. We'll start with Portugal's coastal vibe, which has become immensely popular.
Number 21, Porto, Portugal. At €1,200 a month, it's still impressively affordable.
It is. It's known for its colorful riverside setting on the Douro, the historic port wine cellars, and the Ribeira district, which is a photographer's dream.
And Porto benefits hugely from Portugal's strategic efforts to attract foreign capital.
It does. The source highlights the NHR, the non-habitual resident tax scheme.
Right.
For those coming from abroad, especially retirees or remote workers, this scheme is a massive draw. It allows for a flat 20% income tax rate on eligible income for 10 years.
Which is a huge incentive compared to other Western European nations. And the local food is cheap and delicious. The famous francesinha sandwiches.
But there is a very clear physical challenge to living in Porto.
The hills.
The terrain is incredibly hilly. For anyone with mobility issues or anyone who just doesn't want their daily walk to feel like a full workout, this is a key detail. You will be climbing.
Also, the winters aren't like the Mediterranean.
No. Winters in Porto bring consistent rain and even occasional flooding.
Further south, the capital, number 16, Lisbon, jumps to €1,400 a month. It keeps that coastal feel, but adds a genuine big city international energy.
Lisbon has those iconic elements. The famous yellow trams climbing steep streets, the traditional tiled azulejo buildings, and relaxing over cheap, refreshing Vinho Verde wine with petiscos.
And it's also a forward-looking hub, the LX factory, for example.
Exactly, an old industrial area that's been repurposed into this vibrant, creative space.
And the easy access to the coast is a massive perk.
A huge perk. Stunning beaches in Cascais are just a short, easy train ride away.
So what's the catch here?
Again, The hills demand constant walking. And critically, while Lisbon is cheaper than Paris or London, local salaries are still significantly lower. So if you're earning locally, that $1,400 budget creates a real cost of living squeeze.
Got it. Okay, moving to Spain, we find remarkable value in number 20, Valencia. It's maintaining that excellent Euro affordability mark.
And it offers a fantastic Mediterranean lifestyle. Valencia is the definition of lifestyle prioritization.
The core data point is 300 days of sunshine a year, with beaches literally minutes from downtown.
And it has this incredible environmental innovation with the 9-kilometer Turia Garden.
Built in an old riverbed.
Right, and it's now the city's central park. Architecturally, it mixes the traditional with the futuristic. It's home to the City of Arts and Sciences, a spectacular complex with Europe's biggest aquarium.
And it's the definitive food history spot.
It is the birthplace of paella, so the culinary standards are exceptionally high.
The value proposition here seems huge. Spacious apartments in desirable areas like Ruzafa for half the price of Madrid or Barcelona.
It's a fantastic, high-quality, high-sunshine alternative. The main challenge.
Summer heat, I assume.
The summer gets extremely hot, over 35 degrees Celsius frequently, so you have to adjust your schedule to the siesta lifestyle. But for 10 months of the year, the climate is ideal.
Okay, now we jump straight to the top of the entire list. Number 1, Madrid, Spain. The undisputed winner of the countdown, listed at €2,000 a month. So why is Madrid, which isn't coastal and can be fiercely hot, considered the single best city to live in Europe?
It's because the source recognizes that Madrid executes this unique and powerful cultural mechanism that elevates quality of life beyond just raw statistics.
Okay.
It's called out as having the perfect mix of vibrant city life and laid-back Spanish charm. But the key insight is the daily rhythm of life.
Tell me more about that rhythm.
The city excels at what you could call subsidized socialization. Days start with churros and hot chocolate, but the social engine runs in the evening through the tapas bars.
Right.
And crucially, in many areas, every single drink you order comes with a free small plate of food, and that small plate is often quite substantial.
So it effectively subsidizes the social cost of living.
Exactly. It makes networking, meeting friends, and just being social incredibly accessible and inexpensive compared to other big capitals. It creates this friendly, nonstop energy that's unlike anywhere else.
The culture and beauty are obvious. Retiro Park, world-class museums, trendy Malasaña, but that tapas culture is the singular factor that elevates the daily experience.
Absolutely. It fosters this effortless integration. And while the summers are hot, locals have adapted with community pools and escapes to the nearby mountains. Madrid's success is its inherent nonstop generosity. It just perfectly embodies the joy of living.
Wow. Okay, finally, let's explore Italy's culinary and artistic giants. Number 10, Bologna, at €1,900 a month.
And it's billed specifically as the food mecca. If you prioritize gastronomy, Bologna is your answer. It is famously home to the best food in Italy, handmade tortellini, incredible cold cuts.
And the city itself is visually unique because of those famous covered walkways, the porticos.
Yes, they line kilometers of streets and create this sheltered, comfortable environment for walking and shopping year-round. It's a lively university city, which gives it a warm, engaged community feel.
And the culture of the aperitivo must be fantastic.
It is. It's the Italian equivalent of Madrid's tapas, but maybe a little more refined. You pay for your evening drink, and it comes with this spread of delicious, often substantial, free snacks.
But for any serious food lover, we have to highlight the ragu rule.
Ah, yes. The definitive rule of Italian cuisine.
Go on.
What the world calls bolognese sauce is simply ragu in Bologna, and it is a culinary sin to serve it with spaghetti.
Never spaghetti.
It is always served with fresh, wide tagliatelle pasta. And that level of intense, non-negotiable culinary precision tells you everything about the city's commitment to its heritage. It demands respect.
It certainly does. And its artistic twin, number 6, Florence, for a bit less, at $750 a month. This is literally living in an art museum.
It's total immersion. You are living surrounded by Renaissance history. You literally walk past Michelangelo's David on your way to get groceries.
Wow.
In districts like Oltrarno, artisan workshops still use Renaissance-era techniques. The Tuscan light on the Ponte Vecchio is unparalleled.
But I have to introduce some tension here. How does Florence, which the source admits is overwhelmed by mass tourism and chaos from April to October, manage to rank at number 6, above a city like Munich, which is lauded for safety and efficiency? What's the defense for this high ranking?
The defense lies in what you're prioritizing. Florence is the ultimate expression of that culture pillar.
I see.
You are trading 6 months of competitive crowds and noise, and you have to embrace the chaos of motorbikes in pedestrian lanes for permanent, daily access to masterpieces and a unique artistic history that cannot be replicated anywhere else.
So it's high friction.
A very high friction environment, but the non-monetary return in sheer beauty and immersion is what drives its high placement. It's for the person who values art above all daily conveniences.
Yeah, makes sense.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, we are now moving into a zone where high cost is directly correlated with just unparalleled efficiency, cleanliness, design, and integration with nature.
So these cities demand a substantial premium.
They do, but they reward residents with an exceptionally high and highly reliable quality of life.
We have to start with the ultimate price tag, the city that serves as the cautionary example for high living. Number 5, Zurich, Switzerland.
Clocking in at an eye-watering $4,500 a month.
$4,500.
Zurich is Swiss precision personified. The streets are spotless, the trains arrive exactly on time, and the river water is so clean you can swim in it in the summer. The entire system works flawlessly.
But it also hides these surprising creative spots, like Freigerald's Garden.
Right, this hip space where shipping containers have been turned into trendy bars. It's not all sterile.
But that cost shock needs to be anchored. The source gave us a powerful metric.
The €30 chicken.
€30 for a single chicken. That tells you everything about the cost of daily life.
It highlights the extreme cost of import, regulation, and high salaries just passed on to the consumer. And making local Swiss friends, it requires patience. They're reserved, they value privacy.
But the reward is immense.
Safety, flawless efficiency, and a truly multilingual professional environment. Zurich delivers an unmatched, stress-free quality of life, but only if your income can comfortably absorb that cost.
Okay, now for the Nordic trio, where culture is often expressed through these unique, untranslatable concepts.
Right, starting with number 9, Helsinki, Finland, at $2,700 a month.
And Helsinki is where sleek, contemporary design meets this rugged, functional nature.
The Finns famously embrace sisu.
Sisu.
It's this unique concept of determined resilience, guts, and grit, and it helps them navigate their very challenging climate. That resilience is key, especially when you're dealing with the darkness and cold.
And public saunas are not a luxury.
They are a fundamental cultural necessity during those long, dark winters.
It's a hub for design lovers, too. Marimekko, Artek furniture.
Absolutely. Design is integrated into the national identity, and while Finns might seem quiet or reserved at first, they're warm and incredibly loyal once you get through that barrier.
Especially in a traditional 80-degree Celsius sauna.
Exactly.
Next up, number 8, Copenhagen, Denmark, at €3,000 a month. Defined by its perfect balance and the famous concept of hygge.
Hygge is the defining cultural factor. It's a sense of cozy warmth, well-being, togetherness. The lifestyle is bike-centric. Locals cycle everywhere, using 400 kilometers of dedicated, efficient bike lanes.
The city is built for human scale and comfort.
It is. And the high tax rate seems directly connected to that exceptional quality of life.
How so?
The high taxes fund things like clean harbors that are literally swim-in ready, excellent public services, and free Danish language classes for newcomers. It's a very socially cohesive city.
And the Danes themselves.
They may seem shy, but the source notes they warm up quickly, often over the ritual of Friday night gatherings, fueled by traditional aquavit drinks. Copenhagen represents the pinnacle of social engineering combined with high design.
Now, number 3, Stockholm, Sweden, at $3,200 a month.
A city literally spread across 14 islands, beautifully mixing urban life and easily accessible nature.
And Stockholm lives by the Swedish concept of lagom.
Lagom. Everything in balance, not too much, not too little. Dark winters are mitigated by seasonal rituals. The city lights up with candlelight, ski trails open right downtown.
And conversely, summers offer endless daylight.
For rooftop parties and trips out to the stunning archipelago for berry picking.
What's the social challenge in Stockholm?
Swedes are notoriously reserved. Making deep friendships takes time and real effort, but the reward is worth it.
The source promises that if you get invited to one of their famous crayfish parties in August, you'll find deeply loyal companions.
It's true. It proves you can have elegant architecture, high design, and immediate access to wilderness all at the same time.
Finally, the cycling capital of the world, number 2, Amsterdam, at €2,800 a month.
This is where bikes rule and open-mindedness defines the culture.
Amsterdam is unique in its scale. It feels like a very large village built around these 17th century canals, where bicycles are the absolute masters of the road.
And locals enjoy these deep, reflective conversations in cozy, traditional brown cafes or relaxed picnics in Vondel Park. The culture is intensely open-minded and cosmopolitan.
And the food scene reflects that global history.
It does. The colonial history has led to an incredible food diversity. You can find authentic Surinamese roti and rich Indonesian dinners right alongside traditional Dutch food.
And the social style is famously direct.
The Dutch directness. They will tell you immediately if you are blocking the bike path.
Which can be jarring.
It can be, but it's framed as a sign of honesty and efficient communication. Once you master the biking culture and that straightforward attitude, Amsterdam reveals itself as Europe's most unique, highly livable, small, big city.
Okay, now we look at the high-demand cities. The true global hubs, known for their job markets, often intense competition, and unique cultural countercurrents.
Right.
So what does this all mean for the big cities that drive Europe economically and creatively?
Well, these cities offer the highest economic opportunities for skilled workers. But that opportunity comes at the cost of intense local competition for everything, from housing to school spots. It adds significant daily friction.
We start with Germany's engines, number 14, Berlin, at 2,200 euros a month.
And this city is famous for operating entirely by its own eclectic rules.
Berlin thrives on its counterculture spirit.
Yeah.
You've got unique urban spaces like Tempelhofer Feld.
The abandoned airport turned into a massive public park where locals barbecue between old runways. It's incredible.
Are the intense techno-temples of Kreuzberg. The city's complex history is always visible on the remaining stretches of the Berlin Wall,
which is now the world's longest open-air gallery.
Rents are rising, but it is still surprisingly affordable compared to London or Paris. And the job market in tech and creative industries is thriving.
But the difficulty here isn't financial, it's competitive.
How so?
The source gave us this brilliant metaphor. Finding an apartment in Berlin is described as a competitive sport.
Wow.
That immediately signals high demand and bureaucratic difficulty for newcomers just trying to find a place to live. Berlin is for those who prioritize freedom, history, and a relentless, often chaotic, energy over stress-free security.
Okay, moving south, number 7, Munich, Germany. For a bit less at 2,100 euro a month.
And it delivers a fundamentally different type of German efficiency one, rooted in Bavarian tradition and incredible prosperity.
Munich perfectly balances tradition with heavy industry. You can see people surfing on a standing river wave in the Englischer Garden.
And then head to the iconic Chinese Tower Beer Garden for a liter of beer.
And Munich leads Germany's high-tech and automotive industries. It's consistently ranked as one of Europe's safest and most prosperous cities.
The quality of life is exceptionally high, but what's the specific barrier to integration here?
Let me guess. Language.
Unlike Berlin, which tolerates English and chaos, accessing Munich's high quality of life requires genuine integration. You need strong German language skills, not just for your career, but critically, to navigate the local bureaucracy and build real friendships within the reserved Bavarian culture.
So Munich proves the motto that German engineering extends directly to the quality of life.
But accessing that engineered quality requires effort.
Okay, across the channel, we look at the UK and Ireland hubs. Number 11, Dublin, Ireland, at $3,000 a month.
This is a classic high-cost, high-opportunity scenario.
That cost structure demands some context. The rent is exceptionally high.
The source cites 1,800 ball for a single one-bedroom apartment.
Whoa.
However, this high cost is offset by an absolutely stellar job market in the tech sector.
Yeah.
Giants like Google and Facebook have massive European headquarters there.
So the high salaries make the high rent feasible for skilled expats in a way that Budapest's lower salaries might not.
Exactly.
And the social environment is a huge draw for newcomers.
Dubliners are famously welcoming. It's incredibly easy to make friends in the pubs where Guinness flows and live Irish music is always playing.
The city center is small and walkable.
Very walkable. You're never far from spots like Trinity College. And the climate, well, it rains a lot. Locals call it a soft day. But that's what keeps Ireland so lush and green.
Finally, we look at number 4, Brighton in the UK. Also at a high 3,000 hours a month, a unique outlier on the list.
Brighton is the ultimate seaside counterculture hub. It's where you get London's intense creativity, but it's situated right on the coast.
It's famous for its eccentric architecture, like the Royal Pavilion, and the dense network of vintage boutiques and vegan bakeries in the lanes.
And its progressive identity is integral. It had Europe's first Green Party MP and has a thriving LGBTQ+ scene.
So why is the cost so competitive with Dublin and Amsterdam?
Fiercely competitive housing. The high cost is driven primarily by London expats seeking the coast without the capital's intense grind.
So Brighton offers this perfect compromise for creative souls who prioritize community and the coast.
But they have to be ready for a bidding war to get housing. It represents a different kind of quality of life, one based on cultural openness and coastal proximity.
We have covered an incredible breadth of options, from the Black Sea coast to the Finnish archipelago, and the lesson is really clear.
Europe offers exceptional diversity, but the cost-benefit analysis is highly personal and highly strategic.
To synthesize this for you, the learner, we can categorize the core trade-offs. You have to choose which category of friction you're most willing to tolerate.
The first category is affordability versus infrastructure. If you choose Sofia, Riga, or Krakow, you gain extreme affordability and immense history.
But you have to accept the trade-off of poor winter air quality, language barriers, or heavy traffic like in Bucharest or Athens.
The second category is culture versus crowds. If you choose the artistic classics like Florence or Prague, you are buying into unparalleled beauty.
But the cost is paid in intensely competitive housing markets, high prices driven by tourism, and literal shoulder-to-shoulder crowds for half the year.
And the final category is efficiency versus price. If you prioritize flawless infrastructure, safety, and nature, like in Zurich or Copenhagen or Stockholm, you will achieve the highest baseline quality of life.
But you must be prepared for the highest costs globally. That 30 chicken is a permanent lifestyle marker.
It really is.
The biggest takeaway here is the strategic decision-making that's required. If you're a remote worker earning a good salary, the Vienna-Bratislava cross-border life, or leveraging the tax schemes in Porto and Bucharest, becomes strategically superior to a high-cost city like Copenhagen.
But conversely, if you're seeking local employment, you have to gravitate toward economic powerhouses like Dublin and Munich, despite their higher entry price.
The range is just enormous. You can choose Madrid's non-stop tapas-fueled energy, Helsinki's clean design and Sisu, or the seaside counterculture of Brighton.
There's a specific city for every specific preference.
So now that you have the facts on the specific non-monetary challenges of each location, we'll leave you with one final provocative thought. Which of these non-financial challenges, poor winter air quality, intense language difficulty, severe summer heat, or a fiercely competitive housing market, is the absolute deal breaker for you?
Thinking about that choice is the real first step in the journey. Choose wisely.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the best places to live in Europe. We will catch you next time.